Hey everybody, it's your personal trainer, Coach Kozak.
And I'm Claudia, and this is a routine to fix anterior pelvic tilt.
Anterior pelvic tilt is most often caused by tight hip flexors, weak glutes, and weak abs.
For best results, we recommend that you perform this routine 4 to 5 times per week.
Today's workout is broken up into 3 parts. First, we're going to lengthen and stretch your hip flexors. Next, we're going to strengthen your glutes, and then we're going to finish up by strengthening your abs.
If you're ready to begin, let's get started.
We're going to move to the floor and we're going to get into a kneeling hip stretch. So we're going to go ahead and get into a kneeling position. We want a 90-degree angle on both knees. This one's really going to stretch those hip flexors. The first thing I want you to do is to squeeze your glutes. And actually, for a lot of people, just by squeezing your glutes in this position and squeezing your abs at the same time, you may already start to feel that stretch in your hip flexor and in your quads. Now, the next step I want you to do is we're going to slightly bring those glutes forward and just lean forward ever so slightly. It doesn't take much on this one. As long as you're tightening those abs and tightening those glutes at the same time, there's not a lot of range of motion that's needed on this one. It really locks in on that hip flexor and forces it to stretch. We're just going to hold. So coming forward, feeling that stretch. And all of our stretches today, I want you to take it to about 85-90% of what you're capable of. Take it to where you feel a good stretch, but not where you're inducing any pain. Keeping good posture, and again, just keep those abs tight, keep those glutes tight, and hold. Let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Excellent. Go ahead and switch opposite side now. Again, 90-degree angle at both knees. Next, let's go ahead and squeeze those glutes, squeeze those abs, and slightly come forward. Now, you're probably only going to have anywhere between 1 to 2 inches of range of motion on this one, depending on your flexibility. And again, having tight hip flexors, you're probably not going to have a lot.
No, I hardly moved, and I could already feel.
Exactly. It does not take much as long as you keep your glutes contracted and your abs contracted on this one. You shouldn't have to really come forward on this one. Again, keeping good posture and just keep squeezing those abs and glutes. Let's do this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent.
Woo.
All right, next we're going to move into a little yoga-inspired move. I'm going to do the harder variation on this one. Claudia's going to do
I'll show you the modified.
Slightly easier variation. I'm going to come up into a plank position, and then I'm going to move down and drop my hips down into an upward-facing dog. So I'm going to bring my chin to the ceiling and my hips to the floor.
And I'm doing the exact same thing, but I'm doing it from my forearms here.
So you decide which variation is right for you today. Again, feel those hips stretch all through your anterior. I'm going to stretch your abs on this one as well. You go ahead and squeeze those glutes, driving that chin to the ceiling, and breathe. Nice, big, deep breaths on this one. Breathing in and breathing out. Excellent. Let's hold this one for just 10 more seconds. Doesn't take much. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and relax. Good. All right, next we're going to move into a multiplanar lunge. I know it's a complicated name, but the move isn't quite as complicated. Let's just go and come up onto all fours into a high plank position. We're going to step up with your right leg by your right hand. Next, we're going to reach through to the inside to the left, and then twist your body and reach up. We're really going to hit that hip flexor on that back leg, that left leg, especially as you stretch up. And all of these moves today, it's not about a race. It's just about moving at a nice, slow, controlled pace, a pace that you feel comfortable at. And as you go through this move, you'll probably start to increase your range of motion a little bit more every time. Hopefully starting to feel that hip flexor loosening up. And this one doesn't only work your hip flexor, it's also great for your thoracic spine, and it's going to loosen up multiple muscle groups on this one. Reaching through
Ooh, this one is my favorite.
And reaching up. Yeah, one of my favorites as well. It's just actually hits so many different muscle groups at the same time. It's a very efficient move. Reaching through and up. Let's repeat this one for just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. All right, now right hand down, right leg back, and now let's do the opposite side. Step up with your left leg. Now let's reach through your right side and then back up. Now we're going to target that right hip flexor on that right leg. Now your hip flexors can be tight for numerous reasons, but most often and today it's from our sedentary lifestyle. I'm just spending so much time seated, and our bodies aren't designed to, believe it or not, to be sitting down in a chair, especially not all day long. So this routine is really going to help to combat the effects of that sedentary lifestyle. Hopefully loosen up those hip flexors and get your pelvic aligned correctly in that neutral position. Again, going through that full range of motion, feeling that stretch on both sides, especially as you reach up. Keep that core tight throughout the whole move. Well, let's just repeat this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Excellent. All right, next we're going to move into strengthening our glutes. So let's turn over to our back side and lie down on our backs. Next, we're going to do an isometric move. Get those glutes to fire and to squeeze before we really get into any other moves. Now, I'm going to do a one-leg variation. Claudia's going to do 2 legs. So you decide which variation is right for you. But either way, I want you to make sure those heels are on the ground and nice and close to your glutes. Hands are at my side, nice and relaxed. Now, I'm going to drive my heels into the ground, bringing my hips up off the ground. Claudia's just going to hold this position here, keeping her glutes squeezed. Where I'm going to do a one-leg variation, so I'm going to kick one leg out straight and hold. You decide which variation is right for you, but either way, I want you to really emphasize making those glutes do the work here, not your lower back or any other body part. Just focus on squeezing your backside. If you're doing the one-leg variation, we're going to switch halfway through. If you're doing the 2-leg variation, you're going to stay up the whole time.
Just stay up and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze on those glutes.
We can't say it enough times. Making sure to breathe.
Pushing through those heels.
If you're doing the 1-leg variation, I'd like you to switch now. So 1 down, 1 up, and keep squeezing. If you're doing the 2-leg, just go ahead and stay up. And so throughout the course of today's routine, when we give these different variations, it's up to you to decide which one is right for you. And fitness is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Again, keep those glutes squeezed on this one. Trying your best to keep your core nice and tight at the same time. Back stays straight. Not much left on this one. Let's hold this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come back down. Good. So that was the isometric version, or the hold version. Now we're actually going to do a full range of motion. So again, Claudia's going to use 2 legs, come all the way up and all the way down. And I'm going to do this exercise now on 1 leg, where I come up, drive off that heel, and back down. Again, driving off that heel, squeezing my glutes.
Squeezing at the top.
And back down. And when you come back down, I actually don't want you to relax all the way. I just want you to touch the ground ever so lightly with your glutes and then come back up. So you're certainly not bouncing and you're not relaxing in between repetitions.
Ooh, by now your glutes should definitely feel a little bit of a burn.
That's good. We want to teach those glutes to fire. So often, we get to a point where they're not firing and our quads are taking over and other body parts are taking over. This is really meant to wake those glutes up and make them work to align your body. If you're doing the 1-leg variation, I want you to switch now. If you're doing the 2-leg variation, just keep moving. Again, notice how we're both moving in a nice controlled fashion, not a race. Control the way up and the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Keeping that heel close to your glutes and your backside and driving off that heel. Full range of motion, all the way up, all the way down, squeezing those glutes, especially at the top. Good. It's not about being perfect on these, just about putting in the effort, doing the best you can. You come back, repeat this routine, you will get a little bit better every time. You know, your results aren't going to happen overnight, but if you put in the work, it will work for you. Let's do this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and come up onto your feet for the next one. We're going to move into a staggered good morning. I didn't make the names on this one either. All right, so we're going to have our feet shoulder width apart, and then we're going to get into a staggered stance. So go ahead and step back with your right leg. I want a slight bend in that lead leg, and I actually want your back leg to be straight with that heel pressed to the floor. We're going to get actually a little 2 for 1 on this one. We're going to work and strengthen our glutes, and at the same time, we're going to stretch that hip flexor. So go ahead and place your hands on your head, and we're going to bend over at the waist using your hips as a hinge. I want you to drive those hips back as you bend over until your upper body is parallel to the ground. And on the way up, I want you to squeeze those glutes and then feel that stretch in your hip flexor at the same time. Now, we don't need to count any repetitions on this one. Again, just working at your own pace, whatever pace that you feel comfortable with. Focus on keeping your head in a nice neutral position. Back stays straight.
Core stays nice and tight and engaged.
Yep. Driving those hips back on every rep.
So not a squat, but just pivoting right at the hips there.
Yeah, notice how we're not changing our knee angle at all. We're just using those hips as a hinge.
You really feel it in your hamstring back there.
Gonna feel your hamstring stretch as well. It's true. And on the way up, you should also feel a little stretch in that hip flexor at the same time. And at the top position, we're squeezing those glutes every time. You got to think about it. I know you're probably going to be tired of me saying it by the end of this workout, but it's so important. I don't want you to forget. Try to activate those glutes, get them firing, and get your body back to that, and your pelvis back to that neutral position. Excellent. Let's do this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's switch sides now. So opposite leg back again, slight bend in that lead leg. Back leg is back, heels on the ground. And then let's begin. Drive those hips back on this one. Hips back, hips forward. And we are squeezing those glutes up at the top. This move and all the other ones, it's so important to focus on your breathing. Breathing at a nice, controlled pace. Big, deep breath in and out. And also, it's easy to go through these moves with like a limp body and not think about it. But again, really focus on what muscles are working and focus on contracting those glutes up at the top.
Again, which is why we're moving at a slow pace, right? Because you really have to emphasize those muscles contracting.
Yeah, if you just went up and down, you're definitely not going to get the same effect. Stand nice and under control on every repetition. You're doing great. Keep it up. Keep breathing, keep moving, keep working. Every repetition gets us just that much closer to our goal, gets us just that much closer to evening ourselves out. Excellent. Let's hit this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're going to go back down to the floor for the next one. We're going to do another glute move. This time we're going to do what's called a fire hydrant. Really going to focus on that medial glute, the side muscle here. We're on all fours for this one. I'm going to bring our knee and leg up and out to the side, and we're going to try our best to get that leg till it's parallel to the ground. If you can't quite get it up all the way, it's all right, but that's what we're working for. Trying your best not to collapse your hips or your core. Get that core tight, back straight as you move through this full range of motion. And we're not fully relaxing on the ground in between repetitions. We're just coming back to the ground, tapping it, and then back up. Again, staying under control, making those glutes work and fire. It's important to have strong glutes so that we're able to align our hips in that proper position. Good. And on this next one, at the top position, we're going to incorporate a pulse. So now we're up, we're gonna pulse. It's just like a 1 to 2 inch little range of motion. We're gonna burn those glutes out.
You're not imagining that burn.
No, that burn is real.
It is real.
It is a real burn. Keep it up. Nice little 1 to 2 inch pulse up and down. Squeeze in those glutes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, let that glute rest. Now let's move on to the opposite side. Same move. Again, not compromising our hips or allowing our hips to drop. Keeping our core engaged and tight.
Staying nice and square with the ground as well.
Exactly. We don't want to come up.
We want to do this way. Nope.
Exactly. Otherwise, it's, any moves like that allow the glute not to work and not to fire. We really want that gluteus medius to do all the work in lifting your leg. Full range of motion on this fire hydrant. Good. And again, every time at the top, squeezing that glute would be really easy. Just flop that leg up there and then let it flop down. But then we're not going to see the results. And what's the point of going through the motions?
Exactly. Don't cheat yourself.
That's right. You're not cheating us. You'd only be cheating yourself. Good. Again, full range of motion. All right, on this next one, we're going to hit those pulses. So up and a little 1 to 2 inch range of motion on this one.
Ooh-wee.
Those glutes are feeling it. We're feeling it too, guys. We're right there with you, rep by rep, feeling that burn. Keep it up, keep it up. Good. Let's keep this one going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent.
Oh, goodness.
Down and relax. Okay, so next we're moving into strengthening our abdominals, and in this one we're actually going to get a little extra credit and work the glutes as well. We're going to do a pretty traditional move in the plank. So we're going to come down and do a low plank position on our forearms. Claudia's going to do this one from her knees. I'm going to do it from up on my feet. Back is straight, core is tight, head is in line with your spine. And on this one, I want you to actually focus on tightening your glutes. So throughout this whole move, we're just going to hold. But I want you to keep your glutes squeezed. Squeeze those glutes. And what this is going to do is ensure that your hips are at the proper angle. We're retraining your hips and your pelvis to be in line and be proper posture and form. Squeeze those glutes. Squeeze them. Yes, we're working your glutes and your abs here at the same time. You might get a little shoulder burn in too. We'll just call that extra credit. Keep your head in line with your spine and just breathe. You decide if it's appropriate for you to do this one from your knees.
Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze.
And notice how Claudia has her hips dropped and she's got a straight line from her knees all the way to her shoulders and head. She doesn't have her butt up in the air. Neither do I. And just hold. All right, come on, guys. Work it. If you need to, halfway through or at any point in time, you can drop to your knees. We're doing this one for 15 more seconds. I know it's a tough one. Hold strong, hold strong. Working those abs, working those glutes. Just think about how good you're going to feel when you return your body to that proper alignment. And think about repercussions if you didn't do anything about it. And this problem just got worse every day. Here we are. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent.
That's a good one.
Right, shake it out for a second. We're going to move to our back sides. Turning over to our backs. And we're actually going to move into a crunch. But we're going to do it a little bit different maybe than you're used to. And this is going to do a couple things. One, we're going to make sure that we're not using our hip flexors at all. So when you have this anterior pelvic tilt, so often your hip flexors end up taking over when it comes to ab exercises. We don't want that. So first move we're going to do is to place your hands on your chest. We don't want them behind your head cranking on your neck. Second move. Now see how I'm just sitting here like this in a natural position. I have this arch under my back. We don't want that. When you have that, that's really what's going to cause your abs to stay relaxed and your hip flexors to work. So first thing we're going to do with our hands on our chest is we're going to bring our chin up off the ground and drive our lower back into the ground. Now you should feel contact with your lower back on the ground. So here's your starting position. Now we're going to do a 3-3-3 tempo crunch. So we're going to crunch up for a 3 count. Slow, 1, 2, 3. Now we're gonna hold for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Now we're gonna slowly return for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Again, keeping that lower back on the ground. Now back up. 1, 2, 3. Hold at the top for 3 seconds with your shoulder blades off the ground. 2, 3. Back down. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to allow you to work at your own speed on this one now, but you're going nice and slow. This one is not about performing a bunch of reps, but instead is all about forcing those abs to contract throughout the whole set. Not allowing those abs to be lazy and letting momentum of your hip flexors take over, but instead really strengthening your core and abdominal muscles. And if you're doing this one correctly, you are going to start to feel some major lactic acid burn in your abdominal muscles. And that's just letting you know you're doing it right. You know, that burn. I
think I felt that burn on the second one.
Doesn't take much on this one.
No.
Hey, that's how we know it's working. You know, that lactic acid, that burn, that's just the fuel that our muscles use. It's just a byproduct of our muscles working. And you don't have to listen to that burn. It doesn't mean you don't have anything left. You got to learn to love that burn, learn to ignore that burn and not listen to it when it kicks in. Again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 at each component of this move. Really contracting your abs on the way up and then holding 1, 2, 3 at the top and then slowly returning for 1, 2, 3. Driving that lower back into the ground throughout the whole move, not allowing your lower back to arch or to come up.
You might definitely have to go to your happy place on this one.
That's it. It's burning, but that's all right. You got it, guys. Keep fighting through. Rest if you need to. We're doing this one for 10 more seconds. You got it. You're doing great. Keep pushing. Think about how good you're going to feel when this routine is over today. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Nice.
Whoa.
All right, come on up.
Gonna feel that one in the morning.
Yeah, so I feel that one right now. Okay, we're gonna move into a side plank position. Another great ab exercise that does not allow our hip flexors to take over. I'm gonna do this one from on my feet.
I'm gonna do this on my knees. So I'm gonna leave my bottom leg or my left leg on the ground here.
And we're gonna come up into a side plank position. Make sure to keep that opposite arm underneath us. Our weight is evenly distributed on our forearm. We're trying our best to keep our core tight, back straight, nice straight line here. And we're just holding. That's the whole move. This one really focuses on those obliques, really just your overall core as well.
And you might even feel it in your glutes.
Totally, especially after the other
bottom. Yep.
Especially after the other moves that we did today.
Because that's exactly where I feel it now.
Yeah, I'm feeling it a little bit everywhere. That's all right. That's how I know it's working. And just hold. And if you need to, go to your happy place on this one. Again, think about why you're here, why you clicked on this video to begin with. Whatever it is, whatever brought you here is going to be that same thing that gets you through to the end. We don't have much left. Just stay tough with us. We're going to switch sides in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly come down. Turn over, opposite side now. And here we are, last move right here. You've made it this far. Let's finish strong. We're up. Core is tight. Back is straight.
Woo.
Abs are tight.
That's right.
And it's working. Making sure to breathe. Do not hold your breath on this one. And again, think about what brought you here today to begin with. What's your why? Just focus on it. Focus how good you're going to feel about yourself when you realign your pelvis. Abs stay tight.
Just taking care of you.
Taking care of you. There you go. No more pain associated with this. So often anterior pelvic tilt can come with lower back pain, hip flexor pain, just pain in general. That's not a way to live. Come back, repeat this routine 4 to 5 times per week, and it will get better. You guys are doing great. Let's keep this one. Last 10 seconds right here. Stay strong.
That's it.
That's it.
Almost there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly come down And that's it. You made it, guys. Nice job. Nice work, Claudia.
Nice work, coach.
Nice work out there.
High five.
Thank you so much for joining us and working through today with us. If you enjoyed this routine and you've been working out with us for a while, you're starting to see some results, we'd encourage you to please go check out our Patreon page where you can find out how you can support our mission of keeping these great workouts free.
And if you enjoyed this routine with us today, we ask that you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that way you never miss a brand new routine from HASfit.
Make sure to check out HASfit.com where we have hundreds of free workouts, free meal plans, and our free complete fitness programs.
And whatever social media platform you're on, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, come find HASfit and connect with us.
Again, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a privilege of working out with you. I'm Coach Kozak.
And I'm Claudia.
And we will see you at your next workout.